For me, yes.
I brought my cheese this time, thank God. Well, welcome back to another episode of Thought Tub, where we are breaking those stereotypes and helping you pursue your dreams and going after whatever you want in your life. And don't give a feta what anybody thinks about you. Jonny,
Athena.
we have a very special guest today. You'll hear more about him in a second. But first...
It's my New York Greek sister.
That's right. That's actually why I wore this bathing suit for you, Jonny.
I saw it. I saw you walk out. I was like, the Greek bathing suit?
I did it for you.
Yep.
I did, because
Yep.
Jonny is my Puerto Rican homie from
No Bronx.
Bronx, BX in the house.
BX. And you're from Queens, right?
I am from Queens, but like, I had a lot of friends from the Bronx and Brooklyn and grew up around them. So like, when I met Jonny, that was a wrap.
We're one bridge. We're literally the Whitestone Bridge away from each other.
Literally, like I automatically felt like home, like in 2 seconds, because I have a Puerto Rican family back home.
You gotta get into how we met in the elevator.
Yo, should we just do that?
Just real quick.
Fuck the truth or feta. Or maybe tell me. All right,
well,
let's do it.
I can't eat feta. I can't eat cheese. I know. I love feta. At one point in my life, I ate cheese.
I feel so sorry for you.
Yeah, it's a health thing. You know, I gotta be careful.
Oh,
I take care of my
Jonny.
skin.
It's okay. I feed you lamb.
Yeah, please. Please, or tomahawk steak.
So, Jonny was my producer of my other podcast, and I was so grateful that he did such a beautiful job on my podcast that I never did this for anybody before. I literally went to the store and got him a big-ass tomahawk steak, and I made it for him, and we had it under the sunset.
I was gonna say, it was literally on her rooftop with the Hollywood sign right behind us. It was literally on Sunset. We had tomahawk steaks. I think we had some asparagus. I don't know. It was so romantic. And I was like, if you were on my team, girl.
Everyone's probably like, oh, I was trying to seduce him. Can't be seduced.
Yep.
Not, or maybe.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
You did tell me one time.
Yeah, we did. I did tell you that. Yeah.
All right, Jonny.
I had to experience shit to know, you know?
All right, so truth or total feta? So
About you or me?
About me.
Okay.
So you're going to say if you think it's the truth or total feta, like a total lie. So I've exaggerated a story to make it more interesting.
Truth. You're an actor. You have to. That's like a rule.
Jonny, my stories are originally crazy.
They are all originally crazy, so I guess by truth, it would be true because they are true. But you're an actor, so your job is to play it up.
I think okay, here's the thing. I do say the truth, but I enhance it with how I'm saying it, like in my voice and
that is the New York in you.
Yeah.
You gotta
like
it.
Yeah, right. Like in college, my teacher said, she's like, "You're very animated, Athena." I'm like, is that a bad thing?
That's how I met you in the elevator. It was like, "Oh my God, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, your accent sounds familiar."
I didn't.
You were on.
Yo, no, I didn't. I think I straight up said, "You from New York."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
Straight
called
up.
up. You caught me. You called my accent from New York.
But in 2 seconds.
Yeah. And then you said, "You're from New York." And I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" It's so odd to find another New Yorker with that energy in an elevator leaving work. I was leaving work that day tired too.
Yo, it's crazy because every time I meet another New Yorker, they don't even talk to me yet. And I look at them, I was like, "You from New York? How'd you know?" It's obvious. I felt the energy. And what'd you do? I was like, all you had to do was just like breathe next to me. Like I knew you're from New York.
That's like, I mean, your New York accent is stronger than mine, even I think.
I don't think I have an accent.
You do, and it was funny because you just had another interview, and when you were talking Greek, he said that it's funny you have a Greek New York accent, which I'm like, I can hear it too, which is hilarious. I don't even speak Greek.
It's so crazy because I never even knew I had an accent until I came to Los Angeles, where everybody's like, "Yo, you talk different." I was like, "How?" They're like, "Say coffee." I'm like, "Coffee."
Yo, it's the yo,
Like,
it's the yo.
coffee.
It takes me out every time.
Yeah, but it's like, it doesn't come out all the time. It just depends what I'm saying, I think. Anyway, Jonny, we have to get into your story. So, guys, Jonny's very special to me. Jonny's like my brother, and I love him so much. We instantly connected and bonded. And I specifically asked Jonny to come on here because he has a story that he told me. And I'm like, the world needs to hear it. This is going to be the first time that Jonny ever shares anything publicly. He's very quiet. He's very timid. He's a listener. He's the type that just listens to somebody else's problems. He's the type that just observes. And he's just like, he consoles other people. He helps everybody else. And he never sheds light on himself and wants to help everyone else. So I want to give you a chance to shine today. And I want you to tell your story. and how far you come, because I'm so damn proud of you. So damn proud of you.
Man, thank you.
Like, truly, truly proud of you. What you went through is heart-wrenching. When somebody else would have committed suicide, you took the light and you took the strength to use it and build a new life for yourself here in Los Angeles. So I want you to introduce yourself and what you do first, and then we'll talk from there.
All right, thank you, Athena. Wow, thank you for those words. That introduction was amazing. I think that might have been my first introduction like that ever in my life, so I appreciate that.
But you never talk
I
on
feel,
camera.
I feel seen. I feel seen.
You are.
So are you gonna cook me something?
I am.
Okay.
Well-
I'm just honestly, I'm very hungry,
It's a
and
good size for you.
that's a little bit bigger.
Short and stubby.
No, I really love Greek food too, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, I do. But no, thank you for that introduction.
Yes.
So yes, I'm out here, a director of digital media right now. I direct and produce 2 shows with Hollywood Unlocked. My boss, Jason Lee.
Okay, you said 2 shows.
Yeah, because we do a podcast as well.
All right, but you have to, like, you're very modest, because 2 shows sounds like the number 2, like Vio dos, right?
Yeah, sure.
No dos, more like a 14.
Yeah,
Okay, and
okay.
like he's done a shit ton of shows.
Yeah.
Don't be modest. He worked for Nickelodeon. He's done big shit. He works for Hollywood Unlocked, Jason Lee. He literally has worked for Rihanna and big ass stars like a Cardi B. Forget about it. This is your time to gloat, Johnny.
All right. Sheesh. But no, so yeah, I was born in the Bronx, New York City, and I had 2 parents, my paternal grandparents, and you know, I was adopted at a young age while my parents were kind of going through their struggles with drug addiction, and unfortunately, you know, lost both my parents at a young age. And I was very fortunate to have my grandparents adopt us, but you know, I'm a Puerto Rican, and my grandparents were, I guess, I don't, it feels weird to say first generation Puerto Rican, because Puerto Rican is an American Commonwealth, so, but you know, they came straight from the Puerto Rico to provide. They had 10 kids, my dad being one of 10. And so they, you know, there was a language barrier, there was an age difference in terms of just me growing up. So as one of 4 with us, but I am one of 7 with my parents, you know, I had to take on like sort of the mentor, older brother, parent figure for my siblings while I'm still figuring my shit out. You know what I mean? And, you know, originally I'm doing the directing, producing stuff now, but that wasn't my initial goal. Originally, I was really good at math, and I really wanted to be an engineer. Yeah.
Johnny, you never told me that.
Yeah, I wanted to be a structural engineer, and I was like, this is the path for me. This was in high school. And when I left high school and I went into college and I got a scholarship, fortunately, I got a really good scholarship to a liberal arts school, Franklin Marshall. I took physics, and I realized how behind I was in physics and math.
It's hard.
And it just made me realize, like, coming from the Bronx, underprivileged schools, I didn't really understand the level of which my school was compared to how much education and standards that other schools were at. So I guess I quickly abandoned it, and I was like, wow, this is not for me. If I can't get physics 101, how the hell am I supposed to do engineering?
Man, so first of all, you're incredible for stepping up, because what you went through, like, you're just a child. And I wanna go more into detail about that, because you were lucky enough to have 2 parents. Some people, they don't have parents at all, and they just either go into group homes or they're adopted immediately or whatnot. But you actually had 2 parents, but they couldn't even care for themselves, and they had to give you up.
Yeah.
So how old were you when that happened?
Yeah, it's a trip. My dad passed when I was 5. I remember that day pretty vividly too, because he had to wake us up. He was in a panic, and I didn't see.
You were 5 and you remember that?
Yeah, because he he woke me up, panicked, looking for someone, and that person just I was nervous. It was an invisible person. There was no one there, but anyways, he ran out, and I guess from what I understand, because I was young, I wasn't in front of it when it happened, but from what I understand, it was like the police were called on him, and there may have been like a level of police brutality involved with it. So when he passed, they deemed it a heart attack, but he had a gash on the back of his head, which was like blunt trauma from like a police officer's like thing.
Stop.
So I mean, it's kind of still a question mark for my dad. But then my mom, you know, we were separated at a certain point, And then, we were doing visits, and then eventually those visits slowed down, and she just...
How old were you, though, when you completely were alone, like separated from your parents? Like, did you ever have a home with both of your parents?
There was a time where both my parents, they had a home, yes.
But with you and the family?
Yeah, with me and my siblings, yeah.
So how old were you
up
when
until
you separated?
Up until 5.
Up until 5.
When my dad passed, yeah.
Okay.
And then my mom was a single mom raising us 4, and then she and then at a certain point around the age of 10 or maybe 8 or 9, we got separated from our mom, and then we were visiting her up until the age of maybe 12, and then she stopped visiting us, and then a couple years went by, and then we just found out she passed.
I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, it's okay.
And how old were you when your mom passed?
I was in the 8th grade, so I think like that would have been like around 13, maybe 12. Yeah, when I found out my mom passed.
And then you had older siblings or younger siblings?
I have older siblings.
So hold on. You had older siblings and you were the one who stepped up as the younger kid at 12, 13?
So my older siblings, because they were from my mom and from my dad, and they were fully adult and grown, they were living their own lives separately. So, for me being the eldest of us 4, I had to step up for my younger siblings, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And my brother's 11 months younger than me, so we were pretty similar in age. But, there is still that, like, big brother element where it's like, I'm still older, even though he tried to find me on that. But I'm still older, and so, I felt like a sense of responsibility for my siblings, for sure.
I think that says a lot about your character, because where a lot of people, especially in families, you always have, like, most people are out, for themselves. And, that's just, they want to be... they want to take care of themselves, which is fine. That's what they choose. But, like, you chose the opposite. You chose to take care. You said, let me step up. And that must have been so hard for you. You're literally 12, 13 years old taking care of your whole family.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit for that, because I was definitely adopted and raised by amazing grandparents.
Oh, no.
They had 10 kids of their own. They were in their 70s when they adopted us 4 kids at 70. Like, what's a retirement? They had never had it.
Wow.
So for me, it was really important to me, like even taking care of my siblings. It was important to me that I would make it big so that I could provide for my grandparents, who provided for everyone.
Are they still around, Johnny?
They are still around, thank God. They're 94. Yep.
Johnny, you're so lucky. You're so lucky.
Yes, I just went home a month ago to see my grandmother, who's doing okay, but like
These are the ones who adopted you. They're
correct.
not blood.
No, they are blood. They're
Okay.
they're my dad's parents.
Okay.
So these are my paternal grandparents.
And they officially adopted you.
Yes.
So sweet.
So yes, I have my grandma's last name.
So sweet, Johnny.
But through all of that, I wanted to provide, and I knew that when I was in schools, engineering wasn't for me, so I knew film and TV was the thing that I like gravitated towards the most in high school. I would always use film as a medium to tell my story.
Nice.
And I knew that it touched people in a physical way. Like I could see people cry, smile, laugh, and me being able to put a picture up and see that impact, I knew that like this was how I was gonna like change people, impact people. And so I pursued it, and I'm pursuing it still relentlessly.
Did you ever have anyone close to you or not gonna make fun of you and tell you what you're doing is never gonna happen, or you're stupid, or you're not good enough, or anything like that?
I think my family was just like, whatever you want to do it, just be good at it. But I know that growing up, like going through the weeds of it, I had a few people discourage me from it because there was no money in it. There was no promise in it. It's a select few that make it. You have to be super connected. But I just can't unsee the projects that I've done and see how they impacted people. So I was like, even if it's not super successful, at least I know that I'm making a change, and hopefully it changes someone to help me out somehow, some way. I still don't know how it's gonna work out, but I feel it is.
Johnny. Okay, here's the biggest thing. All you need to see is the end goal. You don't need to know the how. The how will find you. You just have to believe in it. Like truly, truly believe in it with your whole soul, your whole everything. You have to have disgusting, like, belief to the point where like it's psychotic belief. And to the point where like you close your eyes and you start crying and seeing the success. And then it's gonna happen. And then magically the right person will find you when the timing hits. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And from the moment I met you for the podcast, I was like, why are you doing podcasts? I'm like, what's your goal? And then you told me director. I'm like, obviously. Like, it just made so much sense. We're like, do you remember what I did for you?
The chair? Yeah. The director's chair? Yeah, you're so sweet. Yeah, we did our project together, and you surprised me with a director's chair with my name on the back, which I really appreciated because I'm a big believer in manifestation. So to put my name behind there like that, it just felt like it felt like it's a visible, physical thing that I could be like, this is gonna happen, and you made me believe that. So I appreciate that. That was really sweet of you.
Of course.
But I did want to clarify the podcasting because, like, you know, as I'm going down my journey, because originally, you know, I wanted to direct films and really tell these powerful stories. And, you know, as the industry is changing and I'm watching it evolve, I'm seeing this digital landscape and streaming take off. And so, you know, I pivoted slightly because I knew that it was a job, I knew it was security, and I knew that it was paying the bills. So now that I've, like, been in this space for a bit, I'm, like, excited to step back out and, like, take these risks again and like start telling these stories and really go in full throttle. So I've been very inspired by a lot of people, including yourself, to pursue that relentlessly and not give up.
Well, that's the key here is that you're gonna fail multiple times. You're gonna try different things and they're not gonna work out, and you're gonna feel like you wasted time and money. But that's the path that you need to take in order to find your success. And that's why I did the director's chair for you, because I don't want you to lose sight of your goals. I took a step back for my second year here and I just observed. And what I've observed is that people when they're chasing the money, they're not chasing the goal. And when you're chasing the money, it's taking you away from your original plan that you came out here for in the first place. And then you don't ever doing your dream because you get caught up in the thing that's making you money, that your dreams are now on the back burner. And now you're like, you feel that you're too old to even go and try and you just give up. So, like, I want to make it known, like, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. Like, KFC guy, you know, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, he was 62 years old. And I keep throwing that out there. And even the woman who won the Oscar, she won her first Oscar in her 60s. That made me cry, like, her speech. Like, you're not too old. You're not too old to do anything. It doesn't matter how many years have passed. Like, you can still go after your dreams. And another thing that I also want to inspire the youth too. So I love what you were saying about how you're taking care of your siblings, because there's so many children who are suffering, so many children who grow up with no family, and they grow up in really hard, difficult, challenging times. And we have to be able to help the youth any way we can by, like, allowing them to see there's different portals for them to go through, whether it's through fitness or through film, something that can inspire others, a passion that they have that can get them out of whatever bad situation that they're in, you know?
No, it's so true. And, like, one of the things that, you know, I'm a very self-aware person, and I try to always focus on what I'm doing and what I can do to better improve myself. And one of the things that I noticed as a kid, because I was in such dangerous environments, you know, when I was living with my mom, there were many times where my mom would be MIA, and me and my brother would just be out in the street at 7 years old, 8 years old, or running around. And the one thing that kept us surviving, because, again, you know, you want to survive, you want to protect yourself, you know, we just camouflage. We were chameleons. We just fit in where we could fit in. And by any means necessary, if that was with the fucking Lee gang member, we were going to be with the Lee gang member. If that was with the old viejita, old lady in the corner, like, we got to do that. Like, it was just, we camouflaged and blended in. And so now that I'm older, I just realized there's a lot of things that I use as survival mechanisms as a kid that I'm trying to unlearn. And I don't notice them all the time. And I don't know, sometimes I can't figure out what those are, but, like, I'm realizing I can't be a chameleon anymore. I have to step into my shoes and own my space and demand whatever it is I need to demand so that people pay attention.
Do you find that when you have an opinion, you often keep it to yourself and
Yes.
you want to say something, or do you genuinely not want to say anything?
I keep it to myself, unless I'm really close with you, because I'm a pretty blunt person if I'm close with you. But if I'm not, I can be very, I sit back and listen. That is what I do.
Yeah.
I'm more prone to listening and just kind of, like, taking the space for what it is than kind of stepping into how I want to be in the space. Yeah. But when I get to know you better, then you can see more of my layers, for sure.
Yeah. I did want to talk about, do you mind the coming out story or no?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay. I want to help children who are suffering from hiding who they are because they're scared of what other people are going to think about them. So I want to hear, how is your coming out story? Because you must have really been completely distraught knowing like you don't have your mom, you don't have your dad, and like you're taking care of all of your siblings, and now you're also struggling with your identity and like, is anyone going to accept you and whatnot? You're struggling with all these things. Like, how did you handle that?
Well, you know, I didn't know I was gay until I was in high school. That's when I started really exploring and trying to understand those feelings. I didn't really attempt on my sexuality until college. And it was hard because, again, I wanted to people please. I wanted to be looked at in the best light possible. So it took me a while to come out and be bold with it. But, you know, I think eventually it got to a point where it was like the person that I'm with and that I loved, if I can't step out and show that person that I'm with and be proud of that person that I'm with, who I really love, and I can't do that, then it's kind of fucked up, you know. So
who was the first person that you told, and what was the reaction?
So the first person I told was my brother.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't necessarily tell him. I kind of set up a situation to land and work out so that he found out.
That's cute.
It kind of is, but kind of messy because I was talking to a kid in his school who I knew eventually it would get back to my brother, who then would approach me and ask me like, wait, is this true? And then I had to open up about it. So he was the first person. But then once I told my siblings, I knew that the only other people that I needed to tell were my grandparents, who like really raised me. And once I told them, I didn't give a fuck who else knew.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and they were really open to it too, which is
so
telling of who raised me, because as older people, you think that they're stuck in their ways. They don't, you know. But they were very understanding. They were like, my grandpa told me, and I will never forget, he told me, he was like, I was crying because I was scared to get it out. And he was like, if everybody can love, if a lot of gay people today can love who they love and be who they be with and be happy, why can't you? And I fell out crying even more.
Johnny,
Yeah.
that is so sweet.
Yeah.
I remember I had a student, I don't know, I might have said this on a different podcast, but when I was a school teacher, I always gave end of the year surveys, or before a big break or something, and then at the bottom I said any comments that you want to share. And one girl told me, she was like, "Miss, I'm gay." And then I didn't even tell her in person, because obviously if she wrote it down, she didn't want to vocalize it. So I just wrote her a note back. I said, "Thank you for telling me. I'm proud of you," and put a heart.
See, and that impacts people in a subtle way. It goes deep.
I know.
It goes deep.
And I thought that was really beautiful that she shared with me, because so many kids, they want to tell someone who they are and they can't. And that's heartbreaking that they can't be who they are.
And the hardest part is when they don't know who they are yet, but people see or think they know and they tell them, and then like that messes with their head, because it's like, I don't even know this about myself, and eventually they learn, but sometimes that could be traumatic.
It really can be.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And there was another student, I had him as a freshman, and then I had him as a senior as well. And like, I know my students, you know, I get close with them, like I understand them. I take the time to like, you know who they are and see them. So one of them, he told me his senior year, he was so short when I first met him, and then he was huge. He was like over 6 feet. He was so big.
He blew up.
He blew up. And he had a little earring. He was very handsome. And don't be nasty comments anyway, I'm just proud of him. You know, he came a long way, because he's a little nerd when he was a freshman. So he comes to me and he was like, "Miss, I need to tell you something." And I was like, "Yeah, what is it?" He was like, "I'm gay." And I was like, "Oh, I already knew that." So I was like, "Come here."
You just know.
He felt so touched that I knew that. And he was crying and he gave me a hug.
Aww.
It was so sweet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, it doesn't make any difference. I was like, I liked you just the same before as I do now. I was like, go enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like, hetero people don't say, "Hey, I'm straight. Mom, I'm straight." You know what I mean? So, like, why do we gay people have to be like, "Hey, Mom, I'm gay"?
I know.
But I think it's just like we create these social norms, and like that's just what it is, and you know.
Well, it's 2025, and I think that everyone has a right to do whatever makes them happy. You don't have to like it.
Yeah.
You don't have to accept it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't have to also be in my life.
Yeah.
You know? So, looking forward, we do have a little game round. Okay, so we're going to play a game of solve it or spill it. So, here's a little challenge.
So wait, if I have to spill it, what am I spilling?
Yeah, I know. I forgot to do it with other podcasts because I got so excited. And they didn't, like, when they got the answer right, I was just so happy that I didn't even make them spill anything.
So what do I have to spill if I get it wrong?
I have spill cards.
Okay.
And you're going to take a card.
Okay.
That's only if you take a lifeline. Well, no one actually took a lifeline. That's why.
I might.
Yeah, okay. If you want to watch me on Hulu and you don't have a subscription, what is the better deal? Monthly for $9.99 or yearly for $99.99?
I'm gonna do the monthly because I'm binging and I'm gonna cancel. I gotta save my dollars.
Yo.
I gotta save my dollars.
Dead ass. Dead ass.
I'm saving my dollars, girl. But I'm gonna watch it in 3 days, the whole
you.
season, because it's you.
Johnny.
Come on, girl.
Come on, do it in one.
I saw the Bachelor Grease. I saw you win your man.
I did.
Win your man. Take him.
But I'm still single. God damn it.
Well, I mean, it don't always work out.
It's
but
just
on to the
bullshit.
next.
Man, I just want to be happy and have my man to walk the sunsets on the beach and look at the stars and love each other.
But like you told me that you gave me a director's chair with a name on it, I'm gonna get you a little ring with his name on it. Yep. But I'm gonna say like Greek god, cause so you can have one of those.
Johnny, I love you.
love you.
Thank
I
you,
love you.
Johnny. I know. You're my brother. Like, I really feel like you're
I
my
know,
brother.
I know.
Like, I always root for you.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
You're incredible.
Yes. All right, let's see. Which one should I give you?
Funny enough, if you give me a math question, I'm so rusty that I may have to phone a friend. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, let's see.
This is why you don't have a teacher doing the questions, because it's just a bunch of SAT stuff.
You know what? I think I'm gonna give you this one. I'm choosing. I normally don't choose and it's just random, but I think I should give you. Okay. Okay. A game of solve it or spill it. Which domain would be the most appropriate to set to use for a function that predicts the number of household online devices in terms of the number of people in the household? Is it what? Why'd you looking at me like
What
that?
is that question? I didn't read it. Give me the multiple choice though.
One. One integers, two whole numbers, three irrational numbers, four rational numbers. So
which domain would be the most appropriate set to use for a function that predicts the number of household online devices in terms of the number of people in the household? And I can phone a friend?
yeah, you can phone a friend.
I'm phoning a friend.
Okay, where's your phone?
I'm phoning a friend. I gotta phone a friend.
Take your
And
phone.
the thing is, okay, so funny story. As I told you, I wanted to be an engineer in high school, right?
Yeah.
So this friend that I'm about to phone, he's someone that is great at math.
I'm
We were
dead.
always in competition.
I'm dead.
And he didn't even know engineering was a career track.
Stop it.
So I told him about what I wanted to do. He got inspired, and now he's a structural engineer.
No.
So I'm calling my engineer friend for this one.
I really hope he answers.
He's gonna answer because he better answer.
Does he live on the East Coast?
He does, but
Okay.
he'll answer. He'll answer.
It's a good time to answer.
I think so.
9 p.m. on a
He's
Sunday.
sleeping. Come on, bro. I need you. I need you. And Rob, it ain't even that serious of a question.
Rob, I'm like panicking for you.
There he is.
Show him to the camera.
Okay, this is my boy. This is Athena, the host.
Show him. Hello.
So it's my boy. All right.
Does he like girls?
Yes, he's about to get. So we actually just came back from Puerto Rico. He's about to get married
Oh,
tonight.
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
So, bro, I have a question, and it's not as mathematical as I thought, but the wording on it is diabolical. So she's gonna read the question to you, bro, and you just give me your best answer.
No,
bro.
you're gonna read it to him.
All right, I'll read it to you. Save me, bro.
Okay.
Which domain would be the most appropriate set to use for a function that predicts the number of household online devices in terms of the number of people in the household? One, integers, two, whole numbers, three, irrational numbers, or four, rational numbers.
That was a verbose question.
Very verbose. That's why I looked at her with 5 eyes, bro, because I was like, what?
I think I have an idea, but can you just...
Okay, I'm gonna read it one more time. Which domain would be the most appropriate set to use for a function that predicts the number of household online devices in terms of the number of people in the household? Are we going with integers, whole numbers, irrational numbers, or rational numbers?
Integers, whole numbers.
By George, he's got it.
He's got it. Let's go, bro.
He got it.
Bro, I was like, what kind of question you giving me, girl?
You win the cucumber.
Is that what you would have guessed?
I don't know what I would have guessed, bro. The question was real verbose for me. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Yo, he got it right.
It's like smoke and mirrors.
Exactly. She made it hard.
What do you win? What do you win?
So apparently I win a cucumber now.
Well, because it's supposed to be feta, but he can't have cheese, so he can eat the cucumber.
Which kind of lines up, bro?
That was funny.
You, bro.
That was funny.
Much love, bro. Peace. See, I told you my boy will pick up.
Yo. And you got your cucumber.
I got my cucumber.
Oh, I'm so proud that you had
Yeah.
a friend that could do that. Yo, he got
So
it
do I
right.
have to split it now?
No. Well, you got to spill it because you asked for friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, so here's your spill card. Honestly.
My boy looked out. I appreciate you, Rob.
Yo. It's in the bag.
Confess an awkward misunderstanding you've had. Oh.
If you don't like that one, you can take another one. If you can't think.
I don't want to be no bitch. An awkward misunderstanding that I've gotten that I'm an alcoholic.
Really?
I've gotten that before.
You're not at all.
At all.
You just socially drink because you like it.
Correct. But because I'm such a good time and I'm high energy, even without drinking, when I drink, it could be amplified so people think that I need drinks to like turn up, but I don't.
Yo.
Yeah.
Resonates. Let's put it in the back. My grandma always said, Greek parking in the rear.
I respect.
Yo. Yeah, every Greek diner. But no, dead ass, for real. For real. It's so true. It's so true. So in college, I would always like a release. Like most people would drink on the weekend after college. They would go to parties and they would drink and they get drunk. I would go out dancing. So every time I went out dancing, I was so much fun. I was so high energy that everyone was like, "Oh, you must be drunk." And I'm like, "Yo, I'm not drunk at all. I swear, I haven't drinking anything."
Right.
And like, "No, but you're too high energy. You must be drunk." I'm like, "No, then you're definitely on drugs." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
You are a naturally high energy
Yeah.
spirit, and that's rare
But
to
so
me.
are you.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Do you not feel socially sometimes you feel like do you feel like sometimes you want to turn it down?
250%.
Okay.
Today, normally I like to listen to music and stuff, but there's some times where I will sit in silence for an hour drive. And
That's your recharge.
or I'll be home, silence. I don't want a peep. Not even a peep from nobody, not the outside, like nothing, no cars on the street. Like I want everything closed. Windows shut. I want silence. And that's how I recharge, and that's how I'm able to hear my thoughts, because I need to think creatively, and I need to be able to think of how I'm going to plan my week, what I'm going to do for the day, make sure I get everything done.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. Even with my partner, when I go home, sometimes I'm a little more quiet than usual. And that's just because I'm recharging from the day of like not performing, but like just being on my P's and Q's. Just like giving people my best self and best energy, and sometimes that can be draining, you know? Like sometimes you just want to turn off, and so sometimes at home I am like that too. It's a recharge.
I get that. Yeah. I get that. So, we're now going to do our rapid fire inspo round. Yeah, because you have so many different things that you've experienced that I'm sure you did have criticism.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to hear, like, how do you handle criticism?
Harshly. I take it harsh, honestly. Like,
Really?
But I try to be better at it because I understand that, like, for me, it always feels like the delivery, but this is something I'm trying to unlearn. Like, I want to be better at taking criticism. I feel like when I get criticism, it does hurt my feelings. I don't show it, but it does hurt my feelings. But I think that's just because like I told you earlier, I'm a people pleaser. So if I'm not pleasing and I feel like you're giving me a criticism, that means I didn't do my job.
So I think I want you to look at it differently as someone I love very much.
And I'm working on that, for sure.
Someone I love very, very much. Because I am, I teach, not everyone knows that about me, but now you know. I teach people. So if they get the problem wrong, no one dies. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm telling you that you got it wrong so you can fix it and you can get it right. And it's just fix it, to get the right answer, because if you get the wrong answer on the test, you're not going to pass the test, right? So it's the same thing in your life. And in any job that we do, you should welcome the criticism and be happy about it, because now that's one step closer to you growing to be the best version of you in that skill set, so that you can go super far and you could be ready for what's up ahead, because you need to basically put the foundation down so that you can build the house, you know, and like skyrocket from there and then build mansions and shit. And
I know this is kind of breaking the fourth wall here, but like we just shot your interview earlier with David, which you guys are gonna have to watch. It's epic, but he was saying something about like tearing it all down, burning it all down, and like that's my next chapter. Prepare. I'm burning it all down.
I'm proud of you.
Period.
I'm proud of you. It's about damn time that Jonny shines, and not behind the camera, in front of the camera.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
I always believed in you from the moment that I met you. From the time in the elevator.
Yes.
Like, I saw so much in you.
And we always touch base, and it's always love and support, and I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonny. Yeah. So now, we're going to do our closing. So I want to recap and highlight anything that you're working on, where we can find you, how we can support you in your work.
So you can follow me at Jonny Cruz 23 on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok directed by Jonny. At the moment, I'm full throttle on these shows, but I do have some projects that I'm developing, and we'll have to just stay tuned, follow my socials, and you'll see when that drops.
How do you spell your name, Jonny? Because people spell Jonny in many different ways.
Yeah, Jonny. My name is Jonathan Cruz, and when you see me on the director screen, it's going to be directed by Jonathan Cruz. But my name out here in Hollywood is Jonny, and people know me by Jonny Cruz out here. So we're going to stick with Jonny Cruz for now. But when you see my movie, it's going to be directed by Jonathan Cruz.
Well, that hair is giving Jonny Cruz. I love this hair so much.
Tom, you got competition.
Yo, he does. He does. So, grand finale. If people don't like you, just tell them to eat your feta. Literally. Yeah, but not if you're allergic, then you're gonna...
Well, we're gonna eat a cucumber instead.
That's right. All right, so guys...
Oh, wait, we got...
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
You can do it like this. All right, guys. You weren't made to fit in boxes. You were meant to break them. Opa!
Opa!
Bravo!